Frank J. Avella with the Contending. Myrsini Aristidou's debut feature, Hold On to Me, just world premiered at the Sundance Film Festival. This deeply moving film stars Christos Passalis, and I am so happy to be speaking with both of them. Thank you, welcome, and congratulations on such a great film.
Thank you, Frank.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Nice to be here.
Thank you for being here. How has the Sundance experience been treating you?
It's been so lovely and warm and beautiful. The film had a great reception from the audience, and the festival has been really exquisite for us. Very moving, we have to say. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an overwhelming experience every time you show, something that you love and something that you're a part of. I'm talking as an actor, obviously, and it's something very personal also for Myrsini, I guess, for me as well, and for every person that's worked in the film. So yeah, it's an intense experience, obviously, yeah, to show something from yourself, yeah.
Well, you've both taken part in other festivals too, right? You at Cannes and Venice, which I covered Venice this year, and it's insane. It's wonderful, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a nice difference here in Sundance because I think it's a bit, I mean, it's more welcoming in a way, in more you feel more they give you a community. They give you more opportunity to meet other people and to talk with them. I mean, I've also been around, and yes, it's not the case with other festivals, although they are fantastic. But these meeting points are not so. Yeah,
They've organized a lot of events actually that they bring together the film teams, the directors, and it feels such a. I love meeting the other directors and the other people making movies and having them here, and they create that opportunity, which I think it's lovely for a festival to do that. It really does feel like a community, like Robert Redford wanted it to be, I think, for indie cinema and indie filmmakers. Yeah.
And it's also the last time it's going to be where it is right now, which is mind-blowing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was here 8 years ago, actually. It's funny because they organized a director's brunch for the directors, and I found a picture on my phone from 2018 with my iPhone 6, which is terrible quality, but it's Robert Redford giving a speech for the director's brunch, and I remember I was so moved in that speech. So yeah, I was at the director's brunch yesterday, which I arrived late, unfortunately, because it was the day after my premiere and I was overwhelmed. And it was his daughter giving the speech yesterday. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful that they organize this kind of thing. It's very warm and very welcoming for the filmmakers. Yeah.
I want to talk about the international feature Oscar race in Cyprus in particular, because Cyprus has never submitted. And I'm also wondering if it's eligible for Greece. So if you could speak a little bit about all that, I would appreciate it.
So yeah, Cyprus has never submitted. They never really officially had a committee to submit to the Oscars, but they formed one this year. They managed to submit last minute. Thankfully, the government managed to set up a committee. And this would make them eligible for submission in 2027 for the Oscar race of 2027. So we're very, very happy, and we cross our fingers it's gonna go well.
Absolutely. Me too. Myrsini, can you discuss the genesis of the film and how it fits in with your two shorts?
Yeah. So clearly it's on the same thematic. It all started with my first short, Semeli, which is a father-daughter relationship, and I've been investigating this theme, I guess, for over 10 years now. It's initially it started with the idea of exploring how our childhood's familial bonds and this archetype dynamic of father-daughter affects our adult relationships as we grow older. And so that's what it all started with Semeli. And then I did my second short, Aria, which also it's a dynamic of a father and daughter. And I felt like this feature was kind of the end of a cycle, a trilogy, if I may call it. where it just allows for more space and time to explore that in depth, this relationship of father and daughter, which for me also in this film goes deeper than that. I have said before, and I truly believe that Iris, in a way, represents Cyprus itself. She's small and often overlooked, which is what I feel coming from a small island nation like Cyprus. Geopolitically, we're a small, very small country surrounded by other big powers, and we've always been used in that sense as a way to do whatever's happening in the Middle East, let's say, as a back office. So there's that dynamic which is explored in the feature. I feel it comes out, and then of course the dynamic of I guess us citizens, like the idea is of the small guy and the big guy, the little girl and the authority figure, which should be the father, the expectation she has to have a father, to be able to rely on him, which for me is runs parallelly through our expectation as citizens in any country, in any society, expecting from our government, or as human beings universally, having this expectation from God to show up and save us. And yeah, I feel there's a parallel that runs through the film, and maybe it's not so obvious or clear when you watch the film because the dynamic is directly between the daughter and father. But I hope I have inserted some hints of that in the film.
Oh, I
Insert,
think you have, yeah, which
yeah.
resonates directly with the ending.
Um,
Very much so. Christos, tell me how you became involved and why you wanted to play Aris.
Right. Myrsini approached me. I read the script, obviously. I've watched her two shorts. I liked it a lot because in Myrsini's art there's always a kind of emergency, which is really important for art, generally for art today. I mean, the world we live in needs some, I don't know, some defense at least, or some urgency in order to to talk back or to show that other realities are possible or other modes of living or of existing are possible. So yeah, I was quite fascinated by the project overall. I was also fascinated by the prospect of spending some time in Cyprus. I've never been to Cyprus, so it was, I was curious to explore, the area, the region, and it was really interesting. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I really appreciated the fact that I think that behind the script and the film, there is this key political question that has to do with how do we coexist? How do we live together? This is a very crucial question that we tend to forget, or it's a question that's almost ridiculed by the powerful ones. And it's a very nice thing that this question is answered through the eyes and the soul of a little girl. That she's driven not rationally or intellectually, but she's driven emotionally and, with her heart and with her instincts. So those layers were really important. The urgent character of the work, the emotional core of the work, and the political aspect that for me the film actually has.
How did you find Maria?
uh, I had done a lot of casting in both Greece and Cyprus. Cyprus is very small, so there aren't any child actors really. Like you can't really find any with experience in cinema. So a casting director in Cyprus found her and she said, I think I have your girl. So I went to see Maria. She was really shy, but she's a very responsible, and she seemed like a very responsible child, actually. Um, with I I guess she had a lot of similarities to the character as well. And so when I met her, I was like, wow, this girl is great, and her gaze is beautiful. There's so much depth in it, and she has something so mature, that only a child that's being raised by a single parent can have, I think. And then I flew Christos to Cyprus, actually, in the casting process to see them together and see how they work together. And yeah, when I saw them together, I was like, wow, they're family. Like I literally was just recording the thing with my iPhone, and I was like, wow, they actually look like family. They look alike, and I was like, I think this is gonna work. And then Christos had to go back to Greece, and then the kid was there, and then Christos got COVID. This all happened very like not very early on in the process. It took me a long time to find a child that could play, because it's a big role. Like the whole film is on her, and I really wanted to find the right, child that had carried this kind of energy inside, because she had to carry the entire film also. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was a long process, and it only came together at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you create this organic bond between the father and daughter, and it never felt forced. There was a natural arc to it. Can you both speak to achieving that?
Christos, you want to start?
Yeah, I mean, the organic part of the of the thing is that it was really real. I have to start with the fact that, yeah, Maria is a very mysterious person and artist at the same time. I learned a lot from that because, actors usually show things. Maria conceals them. This is good, very good for her as an artist, very difficult for me as a colleague. So I had, somehow to convince her real time. I have to convince her on the in the shot, or to make her laugh really, or to hurt her fictionally, but with my words, really. So it was a very real process, a very on the spot finding things to make her react, because again, she's very mysterious and she was highly critical. She used to correct me seconds before the shot. Why are you looking at me like that? Why are you talking like that? I've been an actor my whole life, and it was not easy, I have to say. But it was very interesting, and really it led me to regions in my art that I haven't used. Even this comedic thing, it's not necessarily my strength, but it came out from my need to make her laugh, to make her have fun, to be there with me.
To actually bond with her, I
Yeah,
think.
to bond, to bond.
To bond
I
with
use
her.
the humor. Yeah.
So there was a parallel there, like with the actor and with the character. So that love came organically almost.
It's true.
It happened real time, during the entire shoot. It was actually so beautiful to witness. I wish we were shooting the behind the scenes of it as well, because they built the dynamic throughout the shoot. It was a 2 month shoot, 8 weeks. And it was happening. And, and a lot of Maria's reactions are so honest to Christos, like teasing her or saying things at her, or they're just so honest, which is why I love also working with children that have no experience, because they're not actors, that they are like, they have this self-conscious thing that they know what they're doing, and they have a plan. Kids don't. Kids are like, they make expressions on their faces that are wonderful, like that they are true reactions to how they feel about things. Or yeah, there's a few moments in the film, like when he throws a rock at her, because he wanted her to like move, or do something, and he just threw the rock. And then I was like, wow, that's great. We're keeping that. Let's do it one more time with that. Because she reacted so well to it. She didn't expect it, and all just to see her character, all she did was like that. She just turned and looked at it and then back at him, and I was like, wow. Like, what a reaction, She didn't move. I was like, this girl is so strong. And even when they're in the car, when the Eye in the Sky song is playing, and he's trying to make her laugh and putting his hands in front of her face or telling her her mom's boring and she should laugh as well. That's us trying to build an atmosphere. A lot of the moments, actually, when I think about
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah,
There are a
yeah.
lot of them
A lot, a
in the
lot.
film,
Yes.
actually. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
The film reminded me a great deal of Peter Bogdanovich's Paper Moon. Not just the father-daughter relationship, but also the grifting aspect of it. Can you speak about whether that influenced you?
Yes, 100%. 100%. I love that film. I have watched it many, many, many times. Uh, Obviously, I had already started dealing with this thematic and this dynamic before I watched the film, actually. I started writing the script already, and I wanted to form this dynamic between them just because my own relationship with my dad is sort of a friendship. So I was looking to find a way to explore how these two strangers are coming together, but the relationship is not like the typical father-daughter, dynamic. It's kind of more of a friendship because they're two strangers and they're and and I wanted the father's character to be a bit of a grifter anyway, and she's a street smart kid growing up, obviously, because when you grow up with one parent, obviously it it's hard for a mother to keep control of the household at all times. So it's almost inevitable that, if you have two kids, I think one of them is gonna roam the streets more. I was that kid in my family,
Yeah.
my with my mom and older brother. I was always hanging out with older kids. I was a bit of a grifter as a teenage girl, like starting from 11 actually. So that's a very personal aspect in the film. And Paper Moon is an excellent, excellent film and a great inspiration in how their dynamic worked because all these girl, like this girl in Paper Moon is just longing to have a father in some way, which is a very similar core feeling that Iris has. She's longing for protection, longing for a father. She has no boundaries and she's just trying to find someone that maybe is gonna teach her boundaries. And I think Paper Moon has a similar dynamic in that sense. She's just longing. She wants to impose him the role of being a father, and he's kind of not ready for it. He just can't deal with that until at the end he realizes that he can't. He loves her in some way.
Yeah.
She grew on him, and I think there's a similar emotional arc going on in this film. But yeah, Bogdanovich is a master, and that film is a masterpiece. And I don't think our film comes close to that. But
Oh,
yeah,
yes, it does. I love how he remains enigmatic throughout. We don't really know where he was. We don't really know why he left. We're given little clues.
yeah.
Did you do some filling in there with your backstory? Not that I don't want to know what it was, but did you fill in those gaps, Christos?
Eh, Yeah, not really. I'm not that kind of an actor. I guess this is the task of editing or some other task, some other people's task, not mine. So not really. I mean, I'm not into this thing at all. I just prepare, saying my words or visualizing things and in order to be prepared to be surprised, actually to be present in the moment, as they say, or to make mistakes and have accidents and that kind of stuff. So I mean, I have a scenario, yeah, some gaps that are filled in, but not really at all. Yeah, yeah.
I mean, there were, I guess, in order to bring back his past in the moments that it does come in. Um, I had the whole backstory in my head of where this guy was. For me, he was actually in Greece, somewhere far away, not in Cyprus. He was just gone away from the family, and because he was in trouble
Hmm.
in one way or another. But I wanted to leave it up to that, and it's referenced, I guess, when these loan sharks come back to kind of, get back what they're owed, and when the mom's at the door and she, kicks him out. She says, "Are you in trouble again?" Which shows how she has kept him away from the family because he's like a bad example. He's like a child that shouldn't be around because, yeah. So
That scene devastated me.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So there were two very different ending possibilities to this film. Did you ever consider going in the other extreme direction?
Yeah. Yeah. So in fact, he was supposed to never come back in the end of the film, on the script at least. It was, of course, contemplated for a very long time. I wasn't sure how to finish the film, and I was very frustrated in the writing process. I was writing and rewriting the ending and trying to come up with an answer. And I called my father one morning. My father's a writer. And I called him one morning very early because he wakes up very early. I wake up very early. We're early birds. So I called him like at 6 a.m. I was like, "Dad, I don't know what to do with this ending. I can't sleep. I don't know what needs to happen exactly to like lock this thing together so it's satisfying, in fact, for this story and the film." And he said, "Come on, let's have a coffee." So we met in this coffee shop by the sea. And I literally like verbatim told him the entire script. Like I just read, like I didn't read, he had never read the script. I just told him the story. And I was like, "And this is the end. And should he go back inside? Should he stay? What's gonna happen?" And yeah, and he looked out at the sea and then looked at me and he said he should go back to he should go back in the water and never come back. And you should have Iris waiting on the shore, and night turns to day, and he doesn't show. And that's how you should. And it was a very moving moment because it was like my dad was admitting to his own death in some way because he knows that our relationship is, he knows I'm taking our relationship and putting it on a film, on a script that the whole world is going to look at. And for him to want to kill this character, I was like, oh my God. So my eyes filled with tears. I cried. He cried. We looked at each other. I was like, okay, I think that's a very poignant ending because it has to do with letting go, with letting go of this expectation from the father, I guess, also. And that's how I wrote the script. And I was very moved with that ending. But then in the process of making the film and working with him and seeing the relationship that they were having with Maria and looking back at my own relationship with my father and how he was absent and then we came together, we became friends and we made it work, through it wasn't easy. The reconnection was not easy. But we did make it work in the most humanly imperfect way possible. It's an imperfect relationship that we keep, and so for me it was important to have a hopeful ending and for him not to, be gone in the end, or to at least, if it were to be hinted that he was like, in a way, it's open to the audience if they want to believe that this is just happening in her imagination, because I kept the night to day dynamic of her just waiting on shore for him to come back and that hope that he's going to return. Yeah, it was. And I think in the times we live in, we need some hope and we need to believe in the power of our decisions and our actions, in holding on to each other, in believing we can coexist and co-create and in that we have a lot of power that we don't use as humans, I think, living on this world. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
go ahead, Christoph.
No. I mean, yeah, it's true that in the times we live in, it takes some courage to believe in happy endings and to believe that, not everything is going to be destroyed or ridiculed or ignored, as far as relationship or as far as connection is concerned. I mean, we are really hardwired to be together. It's part of our human quality. It's or animal quality always.
We're social
Absolutely.
beings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are hardwired to care and to help each other. This is proven scientifically. Scientifically, it's not my opinion. So, but politics and all these societal things makes us forget. That's what I like a lot in this film, that all this change comes from the emotional drive of one little girl. That's for me the originality also of the thing somehow, that one small girl can do things really
And
for real. Yeah.
and it's beautiful. I mean, I guess that it's true what Christos is saying. It comes from this little girl, and children are the future. They are the future adults in this world, and for them to be able to figure out their place in the world, or figure out to sort out the familial bonds, in order to be able to be better humans out in society, or to be better people for the world. We are universal beings, and we are here for each other all the time. So I think, which is why I love exploring these familial bonds, because I think it starts from there, and how much effort we put into resolving that the redemption that he feels, that the second chances, allowing him to come back, the decisions they both make in order for this relationship to build and exist. It takes a lot, and it's not easy. Forgiveness is not easy. Trying to accept each other as we are and love each other as we are in all our imperfections is not easy. I'm not saying that you should remain in abusive situations, of course, but in a way, you just see that in these two characters, there's a lot of hesitation and just unfamiliarity, which they're trying to turn into familiarity in order to understand better how to navigate not only the relationship, but their place in the world all over again. Like, he becomes more responsible. She becomes open to receiving his love. She becomes more fragile as the film evolves, actually. And yeah, there's a beauty in that, in allowing your vulnerability to come out, I think.
And there's an honesty there and a purity. Also, you use the word redemption, and I wrote in my review that the character isn't looking for redemption, and yet it finds him.
Yes. Yeah.
Totally.
Yes, I think
Yeah.
that's very true. And yeah, I think it's very important to come to a resolution in these familial bonds, in order to, be able to spread and exercise the muscle of love, which is what I've heard the other day. To exercise this muscle of love, because the more you do it with your closest relationships, the more you do it with even people you don't know, and it trickles down, I think, and it comes back in return in multitude. So,
Yeah, and it's true that, I mean, fairy tales or cinema, they teach us that they leave the film or the story, they live happily ever after. For me, the film is about the ever after. That's the hard part. No, there's no ever after. There's just effort and struggle and imperfections, of course. I mean, yeah, in order to love and to be loved, it's not an easy thing. It's not a rom-com life, and I'm
Yeah.
happy. I mean, you learn a lot of things through pain, unfortunately, but pain is inevitable,
Yeah.
and it's so cool to be in pain sometimes. Unfortunately, it's the only way I personally learned in my life, through pain, I have to say.
To grow.
To grow and
Yeah.
to be more sensitive, or a better person, whatever that means, or a better citizen, whatever that means as well.
Or even more courageous, which is really hard right now.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. We need courage, and he's very, very courageous character, I think, at the end. Yeah.
Yeah, very much so.
Both of them, actually. The girl is very courageous too, to like confront something that she doesn't know how to deal with.
Yeah.
Christos,
I have to tell you, I've seen the film twice, and I love the film. The first time I'm watching it, I'm thinking, so invested in this character. This actor is amazing, and
Thank you.
yet he's so familiar. And then the credits roll, and I realized 3 days before I had just watched the new 4K of Dogtooth.
Oh, oh, all right.
So I
That's
had a little festival of yours without even knowing it.
that's another family there. That's another type of familial bond, you know. It's not,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, for sure.
Can you speak a little bit about looking back now, working with Yorgos, and what your memories of the film might be today?
Yeah, it was shot exclusively, as far as the kids were concerned, in a house like 1 hour from Athens. So because we had to be there like 7 o'clock already on location, we chose the three kids to stay there and spend all the nights during the shooting in this semi-deserted area, this old-fashioned 80s villa, that had seen better days, but it was still there with a swimming pool. So, I mean, it was some of the easiest shooting days of my life. It was very easy to work with Yorgos, very clear as per what he was looking for. Angeliki Papoulia was already a person that was working with, and I'm still working with her. I mean, we're collaborators. I met her in 2002, and we're still together working. I mean, and both in theater and in cinema, and she's played in my films. We work together in theater. So yeah, I mean, it was another type of family. It was a very exciting project because when I first read the script, I said to Yorgos and to Efthimis that, yeah, I mean, I've never read anything even remotely uh, so bizarre or so, so, I mean, it was like a whole new planet when I first read it. Naturally, while shooting, you never know what would be the final result, and nobody expected. I don't know, nobody. I didn't expect the huge success afterwards. But yeah, I mean, it was a very nice moment. It was one of my first films. So, I mean, I am only grateful to Yorgos, to the situation, to the moment. And it was the beginning of what the critics call Greek weird wave, whatever that means. And it's always nice to be part of a new movement, I mean, artistically and morally, to be part of a new thing you're part of. So I'm very lucky and yeah, grateful.
And watching it today, it's still startling, it's still frightening, it's still timely.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, like, yeah, yeah. There's still I mean, the walls are, yeah, here more than ever before. Almost, we're still scared of cats that will come and kill us. Whether it be immigrants or I don't know, new ideas or I don't know. So we're scared of cats, and we prefer, yeah, to be protected and lifeless somehow, if you ask me. I mean, that's the case globally. In Greece, it's the same. There are all walls built all over.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but it will get better. I mean, it's a bad season for the planet. I believe that, nature has seasons and history has seasons as well. It's going to be the spring will come eventually. I mean, it cannot but come.
I'm gonna hold on to that. Do you know if that was the ending of Dogtooth was what Yorgos had originally intended?
I don't really remember. I don't really remember. I don't know. I think yes, because it was very well, organized. The script, I didn't. Only the first scene of the film was improvised. All the other things were scripted, sorry. The first scene with a bathroom, with a bathtub, was a game that we invented on the spot with Maria, who's unfortunately died prematurely,
Hmm.
and Kiki. Yeah, yeah.
There's an outtake where you guys sing "Fly Me to the Moon," which is hilarious. I wish it were in the film, but I'm glad that people will get
I
to see
wish
it.
so too. Yeah, yeah. Because the story was that the guy that was singing was our grandpa.
Yeah.
And that was a song that we were supposed to sing in order to be in touch with yeah.
So grandpa was Frank Sinatra, and then dad's interpreting it in a completely different way.
That
Yeah.
makes total sense.
So did you go to the Oscars back then, or?
No, I was a bit of a communist. I'm still is, but not so devoted. So I prefer to, I did my job, and the commercial part of the thing is your thing and not mine.
But now, like when you start getting recognized for this film, and you will, you're not going to be that much of a communist, are you?
No, he's convinced now. Now I'm
No,
scared.
and I believe that communism doesn't have to do with going to the Oscars or not. I was a bit naive back then.
He's a great artist, and I think he has to learn to love himself more and allow himself to have the light, the spotlight on him, because I
Yeah.
think he's a wonderful actor
Thank you, Myrsini.
and a great collaborator and a great
Thank you.
artist. And yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I second that. And
Deserves a spotlight.
Thank
Yeah.
you. I'm
So,
flattered.
Christos, tell us a little bit about your involvement in theater in Greece.
Yeah. Lately, I've been doing things abroad, not in Greece, because the reality there is a bit now overwhelming in the sense that too many people do too much theater. Everybody's doing theater in Greece. I don't know why. They feel obliged to. I don't know. It's a social rule. I don't know. So lately, I've been working abroad, but yeah, and I'm involved in filmmaking lately. I've done a few, no, 1.5 films. I co-directed my second feature. So yeah, I'm basically more involved and more fascinated by cinema, and that was something that was really. I'm really grateful to Myrsini because after making 1.5 film, as I said before, I was working again as an actor on the set, and it's such a relief to be such an actor. I was reminded of the pleasure to be an actor, just an actor. You can be isolated, you can fool them that you're concentrating whereas you just want to be alone there. Nobody, they respect you, and that's not the case with a director on set. So yeah.
Did you find that Myrsini, was he a comfort to you on set?
Absolutely, absolutely. I would he would take his alone time and hide away from everyone, as they were prepping. And me, I was dealing with so much chaos and organization, and it was the middle of the summer, it was so hot. So Christos was absolutely my safe space. Actually, I would just go and, his experience as an actor, his experience on sets, his experience as a human, I have to say, made me feel so safe. So I would just go and just sit next to him without talking. I would say, "Oh, I need to go speak to Christos." And I would just disappear and go sit next to him without talking. I had nothing to tell him, nothing to share, just sit next to him and close out from the noise that was going on. But yeah, I'm so grateful to our collaboration. It was really, really so spirited and creative. And we would come up with new ideas every day, and we would rewrite. I mean, I would take the script. I rewrote the script at night. I would show up in the morning. I was like, okay, I changed a little bit, this and that. This is how we're gonna do it finally. Because because of limitations, either time or location or whatever, or character, or like seeing Maria's, capacity to pull through the scene or whatever, I would rewrite things all the time. And so he would always ask me every morning, "So what are we doing today?" And then I would go and we would just run through things. And I was like, you can improvise something. Like he actually, I give him a lot of freedom to improvise on many things, either in order to like convince Maria in real time, while we were rolling, or because I felt like, depending on what was going on around, I wanted, it was almost like a theater kind of situation, because I wanted him to use what was going on in the present moment to react to it in a very honest way. And yeah, it was such a creative.
And the character is quite theatrical in
Yes.
his own mannerisms.
Yeah. He's
quite, out there.
out there. Yes, definitely.
Oh, he sure is, from that opening where he's, stealing flowers off a grave, and which I loved. I loved that was his introduction.
I know, because the charm of these marginal people is so, it's so charming. These marginalized
Yeah,
persons,
he's late to his own father's funeral and
Yeah.
he's flowers from another grave.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it makes total sense.
it makes total sense. Yeah.
So tell me, what is up next for both of you?
I'm writing my second feature, which is called Internal Tahiti. I'm in the stage of development, hoping to get the funds to shoot it, and I'm doing a theater work in Switzerland quite soon. Again, somehow I've been working in Switzerland many times. I don't know why and
Uh,
how come, but
in
yeah,
what language?
German.
In German.
Yeah,
Wow. How many languages do you speak?
yeah, not that many. I'm not fluent in German, I have to say. I speak French and English apart from Greek, so
Okay.
and Cypriot.
It's a dialect now, he
The
says.
dialect.
I'm writing. I started writing. I'm in development of a TV show, actually, a mini series that I'd like to, which is not a family bond. Actually, I'm trying to leave this theme for a little while, and I've had many ideas for a second feature. Let's see how that's gonna go. Yeah, but between the pressure of finishing the film and coming to the festival, it all happened back to back. I need the space to refocus and download as many ideas and put them together and finalize. And you know this as
Yeah.
a writer yourself.
Well, take a few months to do all that and be super creative, because like somewhere around the fall, you might be really busy again, because award season around here, oh, it
Yes.
starts early and it never ends.
Oh,
Thank you.
boy.
Thank you, Frank. Thank you.
You're welcome. Which brings me to the film is seeking distribution here in the US. Did it open in Europe yet?
No, this was the world premiere at Sundance.
Okay.
So yeah, and we have a sales agent on board. US distribution, they're waiting, I guess, I don't know, they're waiting for the film to have some buzz and some articles, and I think they're waiting to see how it's going to do at the festival as well. But we're really hoping for it and crossing our fingers. Yeah,
Well,
that's gonna
so am
happen.
I. It deserves, honestly, it deserves all the buzz. It's just a beautiful film. It has, I think it's, we throw around the word relatable, which I kind of really hate that word, but it is relatable on so many levels. We're all flawed and we all have difficult relationships. And I think this movie builds that just brilliantly.
Thank you. Thank you, Frank. Actually, on that note, I had this thought the other day. I realized I've been like I've been in the seat of an audience member 1,000,000,000 times more than I have been a director. Like, this is my first movie, but I've seen thousands of films. And so I was thinking, I care about the audience in such a profound way. Like, I care about how I feel when I watch a film, how much I relate, how much it makes me think or create some emotional understanding that I'm not sure how it's happening necessarily, but I care when I reflect on movies and that realization that I'm more of an audience than I am a director in so many ways as as a filmmaker.
That's probably what makes you such a good director, though.
Maybe, but it's so important. I know we don't like the word relatable, but I think it was so important for me that this film would, ha- reach a wider audience in a certain sense. I was hoping that would be the case, as yeah, it's important. Yeah, we see it on the other side of the screen way too often,
Yeah.
and I think that experience matters.
Well,
Yeah.
and it's also not a polemic. It's not pushing forward, your feelings. You're telling this story, and from what people get from the story, they get.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. True. It's a very we've talked about this a lot. Art is so subjective, It's a very subjective experience and can't resonate with everyone. But if it leaves you with something that I mean, films have changed my life
Me
since
too.
I was a child.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, I only went to study in New York because of a film I saw when I was 7 years old. that made me dream of wanting to be in New York.
Oh,
And
what was the film?
it was a film that I think the director hates himself, but it was a remake of Great Expectations by Cuarón, which came
Ah,
in 98,
yeah.
and I was 7 something years old. I was not supposed to be seeing that film, I think, but we got the DVD with my brother from the DVD store and we put it in. And I watched that film and I was like, wow, I want to be an artist in New York. And from that day until I was 18, I was determined to make it. And I did. I moved to New York when I was 18. And it was just because I saw that film. How, um, how Robert De Niro plays like this prisoner that finds him and then sponsors his entire like he gets him to New York. He gets him to have a gallery opening in New York. And it's like this little kid from the middle of nowhere. Is he in New Orleans, in Louisiana? I don't know, somewhere south in the film. Ends up being in New York, having an exhibition of his work, and it just made me dream. That film gave me so much hope, and yeah. So I think films can be great inspiration, especially for children, and yeah.
Isn't it nice to know that your film is going to inspire some people one day?
I mean, I certainly hope so. I'd be very, I don't know, humbled if that happens, and grateful, and I truly hope so.
Thank
Yeah.
you, guys. I really appreciate it. Thank you for taking the time, and I can only wish you the best for this wonderful, lovely film.
Thank you, Frank. Thank you. Thank you. You're wonderful. Thank you.